Bop! Howdy hey, this is Frakbox, and I'm here with TruBluBlur.
Long time no see.
We're standing here on the edge of the abyss. This is a live feed from the James Webb Space Telescope.
Oh yeah.
It just launched, and this is what we can expect to see on the far end of the universe. More at 11. Anyway, so we're back here.
Something like that. Pretty sure last time I just jumped from a little too far away, so let's give it another shot.
All right.
Oh, no, that doesn't work.
Okay, so...
It stopped me. Okay, I'm going to have to try spinning instead then.
Okay.
You said to charge up all your energy, and that was literally called the charge jump, so it seemed intuitive. Intuitive enough, but apparently not.
Well,
I guess the spin will have to...
Link, fill up your hearts so you can shoot your sword with power.
Ah, yes, this is not that game. Are there hearts in here? Yes.
There are hearts.
There's also enemies, I hear.
Have we discussed what those hearts are actually made of?
No, we haven't. I'm pretty sure they're made of, pure raw heart.
Huh.
That worked perfectly.
Ah, yes. The fifth element. Pure raw heart.
Haven't you ever watched Captain Planet?
No, but he is our hero. He's going to take pollution down to 0.
Yeah, he has... You do know at least how he's summoned, right?
Yeah, with the rings, yeah.
Through the power rings, yeah. Each one has an element. There's fire, air, earth, water, and heart.
Yes.
Those are, in fact, actually the rings that summon Captain Planet.
Heart, the most important of the elements. It's been such a long time. Like, that was more of like a 90s thing.
No, it was more of like an 80s thing, I think.
Really?
Wasn't it? No, actually, now that I think about it.
Like early 90s?
I think it was early 90s because the art was a little better than most 80s shows by comparison.
Yeah. I mean, it was...
Come on, man.
I think it was definitely solidly 90s. Let me check, though.
I think so, yeah.
Let's
it's
check
been
with
so long.
the omniscient Google.
Oh,
When did Captain Planet come out? Oh, wow. September 15th, 1990.
Okay, so definitely early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s, yeah. So
yeah.
Oh, man, it's showing me people also search for SWAT cats.
Oh, SWAT cats.
Oh, my gosh.
Jeez. Oh,
that
man.
show was rad.
I remember that show.
Freakazoid? Remember Freakazoid?
Freakazoid is a trip.
Oh, man.
And a half.
Yeah. Batman, the animated series. That's a good show.
That is a award-winning show for good reason.
Biker Mice from Mars? What?
That's not one that I watched, but my spouse, really liked it.
What the heck is this? Biker Mice from Mars?
Yep.
With hearts as big as their helmets, Throttle, Vinny, and Moto, the Biker Mice from Mars, are back and ready to take on all evildoers in this incarnation of the cartoon that first aired from 1993 to 1996. The mice rumble with the no-good catatonians. A cat-like race of creatures who seek the greatest prize in the universe, the Regenerator, a device that can create anything upon request. Oh, okay, so it's like Star Trek. Okay, interesting. I'm not reading the rest of this.
I mean, yeah, you already went a lot further than I was expecting.
Never heard of that show in my life. Was it more of a Canadian thing then?
No, it just was not on the right channel or at the right times or whatever.
Huh.
I never ended up watching it.
Weird. I guess it's weird to think that there are cartoons that I haven't heard of before.
There definitely are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. Did I spend a lot of time watching TV? Kind of. I mean, a little bit. I don't think I spent as much time watching TV as some other people.
Yeah.
Mainly because, when I was growing up, there was, church and stuff. And,
yes.
The church that I went to was fairly, in control of one's life. So,
right, yeah.
After school, you'd be doing stuff with, the youth, or, church was 3 hours long. So, on Sundays, we also just didn't watch cartoons on those days or play video games on those days. So.
Right.
I guess maybe I had a different experience growing up than most kids.
I think so.
So
that's how that goes, you know.
And I guess even now, like, now that I'm an adult, I don't really watch shows as much anymore. Whether they be... Well, I guess I can't say that. When I go to sleep, I'll watch, like, documentaries to fall asleep or something. Like, I'll go find something educational, but now that I've gotten older, it's sort of like everything has to be for a purpose, right? Like, everything... Like, if I'm going to watch something, I want to watch something that's going to teach me something. Like, something that's going to make my life better in some way, I guess. Which, maybe that's kind of a toxic way of living. Is that toxic?
I think that's a difficult subject. In my opinion, I wouldn't say toxic, but I would say maybe a little unhealthy.
Yeah,
because it's bordering on obsessive.
Yeah, because it's like I think for the past few months, especially because with everybody kind of easing up on COVID, especially when there's not really a reason to ease up on COVID other than just kind of like we're tired of it.
Right.
I've been kind of alienating myself from people just because it's like, well, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? I'm staying away from people. I'm wearing masks and restricting my travel, et cetera, work from home, which I guess I'm privileged enough to work from home.
For sure. It's definitely nice to be able to do that.
But I guess I slipped into this sort of like, I guess it's sort of unhealthy, like self-betterment for like several months. Of me just like almost every moment of my day was planned out and I was doing the same thing every day. And I've mentioned on the channel like what I do, so I won't go over that again. But I was basically like, everything I did was for some self-betterment sort of project.
Right.
Which I don't think that's healthy, especially since it was kind of alienating me from people.
Right.
Because like I was literally just like learning Spanish and et cetera, so... Which, I mean, you know, some could say that it's you know, I would say it's more like I was catching up on things that I probably should have done earlier in life. But I think a lot of people feel that way when they get to their 30s.
Yeah, probably, you know.
They're just like, well...
I think you're right about that.
I wish I would have buckled down a little bit more as a kid. But for me, it was like I had ADD, so I literally couldn't buckle down more.
Right. There's not really much you could do about that, if anything, without proper medication, which, you know... It's hard to come by and doesn't work for everyone and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I hated being on like ADD meds. Like I stopped taking them around sophomore year of high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I couldn't take who I was on them. Like I was so boring.
Oh.
I was so unbelievably boring. Like literally I don't remember what medication it was, but I think I tried a few different kinds, but the last one that I tried that was the most effective, I literally would I would go to school and be super boring. And then I would come home and like do my homework if I had any homework, or do what I was supposed to do, chores or whatever, and then I would just sit and do nothing.
Oh yeah.
I would just literally do nothing. I wouldn't like watch TV. I wouldn't like everything that I had to do was done, so I just did nothing.
Gotcha.
And it was so weird. It felt so unnatural.
Interesting.
That I just stopped. Like I was like, I can't. This is not a life, right? So I'd rather suffer through raw dogging life than like be this like boring person who doesn't do anything other than what he's told to do, basically. And I mean, there was a lot of like coping with that. Just always a step away. There was a lot of like coping with that because you know I've had to learn ways to sort of deal with that. And now that I'm in my 30s, I have a pretty good system set up.
For sure,
but I never really had any rigor growing up. Like, I didn't have any self-discipline, I guess. I mean, I had some, you know, maybe more than the average person because I had to be. But, like, I never had to study.
For sure,
Yeah, so it was like, you know, I never really had to learn how to be rigorous in anything. So it's really in my 30s that I've really come into my own and wow, how'd you get them from there?
Because it has a radius. It's basically an AoE. Pretty much the only one I've got. Okay.
Is that where it's supposed to take us?
I've missed something along the way.
Yeah,
maybe I just need to maybe I just need to take out all the enemies.
Yeah, maybe that's...
Some of them didn't spawn until I went over there.
Oop, bumped the microphone. That's okay though. So what do we...
Anything else in here? No. Oh, ow. Take everything out. Oh, more
Are they just going to keep spawning forever? Like,
no, there's not any infinite spawns anywhere in this game, I don't
did we get a
think.
key? Or I guess we did have to kill all of them. Well, here's our chest filled with pure light, apparently.
Made of it, at least. It's probably a key for that door.
If it's not a key for the door, I'll be surprised. Okay, there it is.
Yep.
Oh, it's like a little, like, sprocket.
Yeah.
Do you know what the difference between a cog and a sprocket is?
Nope.
I know that they're very similar things. I think that one has a hole in it.
Gotcha. Yeah,
One has a
no
center
clue.
hole, but let me actually check. Let's check the omniscient Google. Oh, omniscient Google.
Man, I hate that.
What is the difference between a sprog and a... No.
You screwed that up.
What is the difference between a cog and a sprocket? It's showing me pictures of pigs.
All
It
right.
got the word right. Okay. As defined in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, a cog is a tooth on the rim of a wheel or gear, but it can also be defined as a toothed wheel as well. In contrast, a sprocket is a toothed wheel whose teeth engage the links of a chain. So a sprocket is a cog that engages with a chain. So there's no difference.
Gotcha.
So
It's just the use that's different about them.
I guess technically, very, very technically, the cog is the tooth
Gotcha.
on the rim.
Gotcha.
And the sprocket is the whole thing when it engages with a chain, which I guess is different than a gear.
Yeah.
Wow, English is so wonky.
Yeah.
Why do we need all these words?
For the reasons.
You can't just call it like, because I don't know, maybe like as I'm learning Spanish, right? Things just, they're much more simple in a way that just makes more sense, right?
Right.
Like a toe is like dedos de pie, right? Which is
Okay.
just digits of the foot.
Oh, gotcha.
So like that gets the point across.
Yeah, definitely.
Like dedo or mi dedo de pie. So my toe is just a digit on my foot.
Gotcha. Oh, is this
a
just gonna
digit
go
of the
in a
foot.
circle? Ow. Rude.
Yeah. So like there's like English is so
Okay. Oh,
specific
whoops.
with its meanings, and it just does not
Ow.
need to be. I guess.
Yeah.
But
That was unfortunate.
well, in the last episode, we ragged against the Imperial Fahrenheit system. In this episode, we'll rag against I already forget what I was talking about. Rag against the English language in general.
And its specificity.
It just does not need to be that specific. Because, I mean, the majority of these words that exist only exist for, like, scientific purposes, right?
Right, yeah.
And that's not to even mention the scientific names of creatures, which luckily is done in, like, Latin, so that it's
is
not, like,
indeed.
a specifically English thing. So it's more of a... I don't want to say universal, but I guess it is technically universal. I guess it's good that like when we're naming animals, it's being done in a dead. Well, technically, there's a lot I could say there. Technically, a dead language, so that no one country has like a monopoly on naming animals. I guess.
Yeah.
That is kind of nice. Because I think even with animals that are discovered like in China, they still give them
Latin names.
a Latin name,
Yeah.
which, you know, that does make things easier for everybody. But they might be derived from Chinese concepts. Like it'll be like Latinized, basically Chinese.
Mm-hmm, yeah, for sure.
But, you know, they still give it Latin names, which, but nobody uses those, right?
Yeah.
Except scientists and like nerds. And like people reading Wikipedia articles.
Right.
You know, I've often thought about like doing a YouTube channel where like I just read Wikipedia articles and just kind of like, oh, that's interesting, and just kind of like talk about a Wikipedia article
Yeah.
or something. I don't know if that would get much traction,
I've no idea.
but there are people who listen to like stories, like people tell stories on especially like Reddit posts.
Mm-hmm, yeah, definitely.
I'm sure there's probably a market for that.
Maybe.
Like it's something
I
that
could
I
see
would
it.
watch. Like I would watch that. So I don't know. And I mean, in reality, like a lot of like people on YouTube, when they read like even articles, like especially like political YouTubers, they read articles anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
And they just kind of comment on it. So, like, how is that any different, I guess, other than just, like, the energy of being politics versus random knowledge?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think if I had unlimited time, that is a thing that I would do.
Yeah.
Is make a YouTube channel where I read Wikipedia pages.
Oh.
But
Okay.
maybe you go to the center there? Oh, I'm surprised that didn't hit you.
Me too, honestly. I think I was safe behind a bit of a wall.
Ah. So
Ow.
is this... So this is definitely the last dungeon, right? Oh no, Hyrule Castle,
we still
or
have
the
to get
Bass
through
Pro
the
Shop is
castle
probably
itself.
the Bass Pro Shop is probably the last dungeon.
I believe so.
Yeah. For those who don't know, if this is probably going to be your first episode.
Oh sure, you know, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah. We have a whole extended lore
Oh yes.
that I've completely forgotten.
I remember a lot of it, but definitely not all of it. Another key.
It's unfortunate that like we are the primary lore masters and we don't remember most of it. Well, I think Omega Wolf remembers a lot of it.
Right, yeah, I think that's true.
But he's also obsessive that way with remembering information. I'm too old to remember information that readily anymore. But just the Gorons being like
West
West
Virginians.
Virginians that sound like Jewish grandmothers is my favorite, though.
Oh man. Very silly.
Just play some Elton John for your father. Just our favorite sport is sumo wrestling. Yes. Oh man, that was years ago.
Yes, it was.
That was years ago. My goodness.
Wild, isn't it?
The time keeps coming and it keeps on coming.
And it keeps on coming, and it keeps on coming, and it keeps on coming, and it keeps on coming.
Oh, so this is the boss.
Oh, this is the boss room.
Okay,
I don't
so
think I have the boss key yet, do I?
I don't think so. I would have remembered the Daedric Mace.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of Skyrim,
yeah.
I have been playing a lot of
dang it.
Skyrim recently.
Yeah.
So I think I mentioned that now on every episode. So I don't know. I feel kind of bad because it's like, I don't know. Have you ever felt bad for like playing a video game when you're like, this is like a cringe video game, but like I'm playing it. Like,
is Skyrim cringe?
In that like everybody plays it, right? It's one of those things. Maybe it's more of a me thing where like I would much rather. How do I put this? This is a very complicated concept. So maybe I'm putting Morrowind on a pedestal.
Oh yeah.
If that makes sense. And so when I think of, so there's Sky Kitties, and then there's morroboomers.
Oh boy.
So it's that sort of concept. And then like the phrase that the community has given to people obsessed with Oblivion is not really appropriate, but but it's as you can probably guess.
Yeah.
But Oblivid, and then it ends. Yeah. Anyway, uses a bit of a slur. So I would call myself more of a morroboomer. In that Morrowind is definitely like my favorite of the series.
Gotcha.
But I feel bad that I default to playing Skyrim so often when it doesn't really bring me all that much enjoyment anymore.
Oh,
it's just like I engage with the Elder Scrolls because I know so much about the Elder Scrolls, and I play Skyrim, and maybe I'll like do a role play where I'll play a specific character that like has a specific backstory. But Skyrim is just so easy to play, and Skyrim is just so like streamlined that you want to struggle a little bit, right? Skyrim doesn't let you struggle, right? I keep
Gotcha.
I don't put the difficulty on the max. I put the difficulty on like the medium hard. I think it's adept difficulty. So it's not I play it on not the normal difficulty, but like the difficulty above that, basically.
Yeah.
And that's about the right difficulty for me. I think if I played it on a higher difficulty than that, it wouldn't be more enjoyable. But it just makes the enemies have more health,
right?
Which isn't more enjoyable or anything. So I think the adept is like the medium ground for me. Where if it were on normal, the game would feel way too easy. Whereas on adept, it's kind of like it's like if 50% is where I want it to be, it's like 48%.
Gotcha.
Right? As far as what I would consider easy. And then, like, anything above that, like, it just shoots up to way harder than I want it to be if you play it on an even higher difficulty. So, but I don't know. It's I recently bit the bullet, and I decided to... Well, I'll probably continue this story in the next episode.
Okay.
Because we're getting about to the end.
Okay.
So if you want to hear the thrilling conclusion of my story about the Elder Scrolls and engaging with content, make sure to tune in for the next episode.
Indeed.
So this is Frakbox.
This is TruBluBlur.
Have a great day.
Keep on running through doors fast.